everybody. I'm here today with Daniel, and he works for a company called Playground. My name is Dr. Tamar Andrews, and I teach early childhood courses. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the new way of managing early childhood programs. And I thought, what better way to do this than with Daniel? So Daniel, first of all, tell us about Playground and how did it start?
So we started off because my entire family is in preschool. My mom teaches at one of the largest preschools in Southern California, and she also helps a lot of schools get started. My aunt runs a chain of preschools, my grandma's a preschool administrator, my sister's an occupational therapist at preschools. It runs in the family, it really does. And so Playground started out as a way to help my family run their preschools. So Playground is a preschool management software. We handle things from attendance tracking to guardian management, to filling out documents, to collecting payments, even now do payroll as well. So we help you with every single part of running a preschool.
Wow, pretty impressive. So first of all, who are the people that Playground actually benefits? How does it work?
So we sell to preschool directors, but then we kind of break it down into three separate categories of people that a preschool director needs to account for. So first, of course, are the students. They need to be able to interact with the students, they need curriculum. A lot of times there's regulatory requirements around tracking activities. For example, when they go to the bathroom, when they eat, all of this needs to be recorded. We also make sure to know at all points who's in the building, who's not in the building. In the case of emergency, we can tell you immediately who's in what classroom and where they are.
So you really know where the kids are and what they're doing at all times.
Yeah, especially with activity tracking and all of that too.
Great.
So then our second group of people that we need to account for are the parents, the people who have the children at the school. We help to keep them informed. That is what the parents really care about, is information, that their child is safe, and that that they're in the know of what's happening with all of the events at the school, the photos. They love seeing photos of their students. So we help with, for example, all the documents. We make sure that for licensing, all their documents are in order. We also do communication. So we help them with chat, we help them with photo sharing. If there's announcements in the school as well, maybe an early dismissal or some fun activity after school one day. A lot of that is really just keeping the parents updated, just sharing those resources around.
So no need to have a million apps on my phone anymore. Everything just goes through Playground for communication.
Yeah, so our goal is to be the liaison between the school and the family. So all information that is collected, that is recorded, that needs to be shared with families can be done through Playground.
And you said there were 3 groups?
Yeah, and then of course the third group is the staff, the teachers who are actually educating these students and caring for them throughout the day. So there's a lot of things that staff needs as well. One is an easy way to communicate, which is how through Playground. And we actually keep their information secure because they no longer have to share their personal Facebook, their personal WhatsApp. They're able to just communicate exclusively through Playground. Additionally, we track their staff hours. Oftentimes they'll be there early for early care or have overtime for aftercare. We're able to manage all of that through the Playground app. And there can also be communication from the director to the staff through Playground too.
Now you said something about tracking staff hours. Are you able to sync, or do you handle staff payroll as well then when you track their hours?
Yeah, so all of the payroll tracking from vacation days to sick days to tracking breaks, all that is done through Playground. You're actually able to use the tuition you collect through Playground in order to pay your payroll as well.
Is there anything that you can share that are ways that Playground can actually add money to my bottom line? Like, tell me about the ways that Playground can help me with my budgeting.
Preschools are a business at the end of the day, and they have to operate like one too. So we do, the main thing that we really think about at Playground is kind of these hidden costs. One of the biggest hidden costs that most preschool directors fail to account for is non-payment from families, or late payments from families. They're essentially giving them a loan during the time before they pay. What Playground does is we take however you're recording those payments before and digitize the whole thing. So you're able to see exactly how much each family owes and when they owe that money. So that way you can stay on top of it. You can also see how late they are to payment.
At the end of the day, do I still have to chase them for the money, or are they paying through Playground?
So parents can add bank accounts or credit cards through Playground. And then we have something called autopay, where automatically on whatever billing cycle you're on, whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, it will automatically charge the families the balance that they have owed. So this could be tuition, but also maybe any other fees. For example, an extra pair of clothes, or it could be there's a field trip. All of that can just be added to their balance. And parents have complete transparency into what fees they're charged for and when they're charged for them, as well as when they're due. And so they can pay early, they can pay through auto pay, or if you're still collecting checks, that's fine too. There's a way to record that in our software as well.
Oh, wow. I think the other thing that we worry about, and I think the pandemic has also raised an awareness about safety and security. Can you talk for a moment or two about the ways in which Playground can make both administrators, teachers, and families feel more safe about their child's enrollment in a school?
Safety and security is paramount at Playground. So one of the things that we think about a lot is if there's a fire or if there's an earthquake, what do we do in order to help the school react in those situations? The normal process is a clipboard in a classroom with a list of all of the students and when they're signed in and signed out. You might even have 3 or 4 teachers in that classroom that's sharing this one clipboard. With Playground, because we are an app, all this information is available immediately to all of the staff on their devices.
Wow.
And also to the administration as well. So the moment a student is checked in, every single phone is updated with the fact that that student was checked in by who. And then the moment they're checked out, it's also synchronized across that. So if you have some teachers on the playground, some teachers in the classroom, everybody knows at the exact same moment when that person is checked in or checked out. So if an emergency occurs, there's no where's the clipboard, who has the clipboard. It's just immediately you can check on Playground. Additionally, during pickup and drop off, the normal way people have this is a binder. You'll walk into a classroom and there'll be a huge binder
Yes.
with a list of every single parent, guardian, nanny, anybody essentially this
Yes.
child has ever known
You know your stuff.
is legally allowed to pick up or drop off this student. So a new nanny comes in, you have to go in there, literally rip out the page for the old nanny, and then a 3-hole punch and binder that new nanny's information. With Playground, instead, the family is just able to go in and add that new nanny to the app and remove the old one. It's an instantaneous process, again, updated everywhere. If you have different teachers who are picking up, handling pickup and drop off, then we're the actual teachers, maybe they don't have personal relationships with that family. That information in the photo is still in the app. And if you're still not sure, all the parent's phone number and information is just one tap away.
Wow.
Click on the student and you can get the contact information for every single guardian that's on that student's profile.
Some of the things, especially when I teach this course, that I tell my students about is that they need to have several different kinds of subscriptions or apps. For example, we try to help our customers digitize as much as possible, so we have DocuSign so that way when they sign their forms at home, they go through DocuSign. It costs us a few thousand a year. We have some of those social media accounts because that's the way that some of the classrooms will share photos and stuff. We also pay a subscription to a emergency broadcast system, which we once found out didn't actually work because some parents opted out of the do not call registry, and so on and so forth. So if I'm understanding this correctly, I can get rid of all of that and save all of that money, and everything will then be legally done on Playground?
Yeah, we communicate frequently with licensing to make sure that all of our stuff complies with all of the regulations.
For every state?
For every state.
Wow.
In the past, there used to be something called horizontal softwares. You get one software for payroll, one software for communication, one software for emergency broadcasts. In the last couple of years, we've seen something called the verticalization of software, where all of your software needs can now be done on a single platform. And so that's what we do. We take out the administrative burden of downloading all the DocuSign information, uploading it to your other platform. A parent signs up, now I have to enter their email address and phone number into 6 different systems in order to let them be in the know and add them to all the software we need. Now you can just do that once, and they'll be integrated into all of the software at once.
So you mentioned licensing. For example, I'm in the state of California, you're in New York. In the state of California, there are probably close to a dozen forms that, we would give parents these paper packets, they'd have to fill out these forms and hand them back, and then we would hire somebody full-time job to, literally digitize it all and put it into spreadsheets for us. Can you talk a little bit then about how you've integrated licensing then?
Yeah, so because we have all of the information from the families as well as from the students on our app in one place, we're able to actually go and autofill most of those documents. So in California, I know you have your licensing 700 form. It's a beast of a form. It's really large and tedious for parents to fill out for each student. But during the enrollment process, application process, parents actually enter most of that information, and most of it's already collected. So instead of parents having to go and print out these forms and then fill them out manually and then submit them to the school where the school then has to type it all into the computer, because we already have that information, this form is now mostly completed for them, and it's now just making sure that information is correct and then adding their signature at the bottom. So a tedious process for the families that used to take 20, 30 minutes is now immediate. And on the administrative backend side, where you have a stack of however many students' forms you have there, because sometimes I've literally seen entire file cabinets of forms, is now just digital on the app, and it's pretty much filled out for you.
And at my fingertips.
At your fingertips, anyway. You can also still download it if licensing requires it. I know California likes to have physical copies. But now instead of having the back and forth, did they fill out this form, did they fill out this field, or this is incorrect, this is all now digital and very easy to update, modify, and keep track of.
Wow, so if I'm getting this right, no more chasing funds or forms.
No more chasing funds or forms, exactly.
Yeah, that's great. Any last words? This has been fantastic.
Yeah, so honestly, our goal here at Playground is to free up as much time as we possibly can for the administrators and staff, so that way they can really focus on what matters, educating the children.
Thank you. Daniel, this has been great. Thank you so much. I'm Dr. Tamar Andrews, and I look forward to another interview another time. Thank you.